What's up, guys? Welcome to the Behind the Golf Brand podcast. We are back after a little hiatus, and welcome to season 5. It's a whole new year of a lot more brands, a lot of old brands we've talked to before, a lot of friends, and I'm really excited to have my friend Matt Allard from Puttr. If you guys don't know what Puttr is, it's probably the coolest putting training aid. I don't even know how to describe what it is. It's like a piece of art for practicing putting, but it's AI powered. I don't even know. It's hard to explain, but it's super cool. I reviewed it last year, and I'm really excited to have him on the show. So welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
So where are you located right now?
I'm in London, England.
Is that where you're from?
Yeah, you can tell by my accent. I'm from the north part. I'm actually from New England.
Are you really?
And from New Hampshire.
Are you from New Hampshire? That's cool.
Which now that I've lived in the UK for like a little over a year, I realize how unoriginal the founding fathers were with all the naming. But yeah, so from New Hampshire, grew up playing a lot of indoor golf on like cutout carpet because it was freezing, and so moved to London, the birthplace, UK, the birthplace of golf, baby. So it's good to be here.
What made you move to London?
My wife is an interior designer, and I doing this
cool.
Can basically work anywhere with a laptop. And we're living in LA. I lived in LA for the last 15 years, so we wanted to do something different, and we decided on London. I used to come here for work on my last startup, and just love the city and love the access to Europe. So we decided to try it for a few years and see how it goes.
So did you grew up in New Hampshire, right? And then did you go to college out in the East Coast, or where'd you go to college?
I did. Yeah, I went to GW, George Washington in DC.
Oh shit, someone smart. They have a good law school. I know that.
They do. Yeah, they're a good law school and good.
Super good.
Yeah, and good medical school too.
So what'd you study there? Like science?
Computer science.
I'm like, you guys BCS or something.
Yeah, computer science as an engineer. And actually, I also played on the golf team.
Oh, really? So you're good.
I mean,
did you get a full ride, or they give you
I didn't get a full ride. I did get some aid though, which was nice.
Did you really? That's good.
But I quit after a year. I quit after a year because.
Why did you quit? Because you were drinking, and they were like, "Yo, bro, you're off the team."
I mean,
maybe. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of scholarships that lost in their freshman year. That's why.
I think there comes a time in in a person's life where you have to be honest with yourself, and I think that up into going to GW, I actually interviewed at some legit Arizona State and U of A
party
and some
school,
of those.
USA, it was the number one party school ever.
Well, but also the golf team, you're walking
that's
around
legit.
there.
That's the number one. Yeah, they were there.
It's like, oh, here's where pictures of Phil Mickelson.
Yeah.
You're like,
they have a new facility too, which is super sick.
Oh my, it's unbelievable. And but doing that, I realized that I was nowhere near good enough to play on that team. And so GW was D1, but it was pretty low level.
You get to play, but you're not. Yeah, I've had a lot of guys on the show that have said that. A lot of professionals, even famous instructors, they're like, I just realized that I cannot play it. I'm not that.
Yeah,
I'm good, but I'm not that good. Right.
Right. And exactly. And so once you have that realization, you're like, maybe I should focus on engineering. And because the golf, even though it's low level D1, the time commitment is nuts. And GW is right in the middle of DC. So just getting to the course is an hour each way. So you add that to practice every day, gym, study hall. And yeah, on Thursday nights when all my friends were going out to the bar and I'm driving to Rehoboth Beach to go play in a golf tournament, you're kind of why am I doing this? If I'm not going to go pro, what am I doing? So obviously if you have a full ride, that's the reason. But other than that, I didn't. So I just said, you know what, I'm going to focus on school and play for fun. And then I walked back on senior year
as a walk-on. Oh wow!
I tried out and made it. Yeah, so I got some good free golf my senior year.
Who started you into golf? Your dad, your grandpa, your grandma, or what?
Yeah, my dad. My dad. I always played baseball, and then my dad.
Did you really? So did I.
Yeah.
Let me guess. You're probably a pitcher, second baseman.
I was a pitcher. Yeah, pitcher and shortstop. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, man.
loved it. But I always grew up like around the golf course, but more just like, I'd caddy and stuff as a job during the summer. And then when I was like 15, I was on 3 baseball teams. I was like, I got burnt out and I just kind of gravitated to golf.
Were you like overplaying? Like, do you feel like, or did you get injured or anything, or just was like completely just burned out because you're like
burned out? Yeah, I mean, it's just like you're just go. I mean, you're
it happens, dude. Like, especially now, even worse now, I'd say.
Yeah, when you're like 13 to go to like 6 hours of practice every day, like with 3 different coaches, it's a lot. And like golf was so the opposite of that, right? Like I could just go play and be out on the course with like a friend or a couple friends.
Have fun and not like think it's
nobody's
like
screaming at you, you're not doing suicides. Yeah, I mean, it's just such a different environment. Obviously, I think probably now for juniors, if you're playing competitively, it's like probably pretty regimented, but yeah, it was just a totally different thing. And I loved it. I mean, I always loved being on the golf course. So it just kind of just gravitated towards it and then just kind of took that on full time and quit baseball.
Yeah, like my younger son plays baseball. My older son doesn't, but like he wants to play baseball, like MLB, that's his dream. And I'm like, all right, dude, like I will support you, but like I'm not gonna push you, right? Like, so like if you want to go to the gym with me at 5:30 in the morning right now, you should come in at 5:30 in the morning before school. Dude, he's been doing it. I was like, holy crap, he's 12. I was like, mad props, dude. Like, you tell me, like, even after a month he's been doing it for a month straight. I was like, that's awesome. Like, I would never done that. I mean,
yeah,
be that devoted to a sport.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, if you can keep it, just make it fun. I mean, if you make it fun for
them,
there's
a lot of psycho parents, dude. They're like some real psycho parents in baseball. You know that? Like,
oh my god,
psychos.
Like, I still remember names. It's like traumatizing. I remember the name. I won't say it.
Yeah.
He used to like come out on the field arguing with the ump, who's like a volunteer dad
or kid. Yeah, I've seen in the last year, I've seen 2 parents, the same family, husband and wife, like get in a fight with the umpire after the game. Like it was a tournament, but it didn't even matter. It was like a crappy ass it was like we couldn't get in the good tournament, so we got this like reject tournament, and like they were that pissed. I was like, and then the coach finally said something to like in the group chat or whatever. He's like, like everyone's watching you. Your kid's gonna have a reputation, dude. Like you're gonna be known as the weird parents. So chill.
Yeah, and like it doesn't really even. I mean, it doesn't matter even if it's a Little League World Series. Like it's still not that important that you need to like do that. It's like it's kids, let them have fun.
Yeah, seriously. So then you played in high school. Did you play golf then too, or not really?
Yeah, I played high school. I actually started the team at my high school because they didn't have one. And then played at GW. And then
graduated and then
graduated
LA then or what after that?
Worked for a living. Yeah, a couple like shortly after graduating, I was pretty over DC and then moved to LA for a job. And then
doing what?
I was actually working in the hospitality space, doing like
or the CW computer guy.
Yeah, like doing like websites and like back of house CRM systems for a big hospitality company in LA. But then I actually quit that after moving to LA.
The cubicle of your dreams?
Yeah. I actually worked for a pretty cool company and we were on completely unrelated to this podcast.
No, it's fine. I mean, the dude's all golf.
This was like, I'm an East Coaster, so I'm like pretty like I get to meetings like 5 minutes before and like, I'm pretty like come with notes and come prepared. And I moved to LA and it's like the opposite of that. Like everyone's 30 minutes late to everything. And, there was always this joke, like if you show up late to a meeting with a coffee, it's like, but they were shooting like the Hills spinoff.
Oh, I remember that show.
Maybe it was the Hills, which was a spinoff of something else. But I remember I went for a meeting and like Heidi Montag was at the desk and I had like a conversation with her that was very surreal. And then I talked to my friend. He was like, dude, that's not even his assistant. This is like a show they're shooting and they're going to ask you to sign a waiver. And I was like, what? And I'm like, at work. This is in the office.
Oh, oh my God, that's so random.
So anyway, so LA was interesting, and then I started a company that was in hospitality, and we did the world's first iPhone hotel in Malibu Beach in 2008. And
what was that?
It was basically, it's like a mobile app company for hotels and casinos. So like if you've used an app at a Virgin Hotel or at I mean,
Like
there's a
any
lot of stuff.
hotel app, even like ones where you can open the doors now and stuff.
Yeah, that's what it was. We did like the Virgin Hotels app. You could scan the door, you could order room service from your phone, but again, now that's kind of like expected, where in 2008,
It was like the
that
first
was
one.
cutting edge. Yeah. Well, and actually to date it, we were actually handing out iPod touches because that was like still BlackBerry days.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I had a BlackBerry.
Me too. I had the one like
They're
the
awesome.
bold.
I wish they still had that. We get small, you can type really fast.
The typing, yeah, I still don't love the typing on an iPhone. Like the real keys was something. And also like
come out that I'm surprised there was come like on a retro phone like that. They had like
I feel like they've made cases. Remember the bold that had the leather back? And I just felt like it was like a little briefcase. It felt so official. I feel like
it's a badass. I remember in like 2000, I went with my dad to like, we had to go to court on something, and like he had a Palm Pilot, dude. Like, but it was like real janky. Remember the Palm Pilot? And I remember I was walking around, thought I was all hot with it. I was like, look at me, I got a Palm Pilot. And I was like, I think it was the biggest piece of shit. Like, it didn't even work,
Yeah, I mean,
it was so cool.
It was novel. Yeah.
It was novel. Yeah. That's a better way of saying it.
Yeah.
It's like when you're watching TV now and you see old phones, you're like, oh, I remember that. I had that phone. Like, all sad.
Yeah, there's actually an exhibit on them now in London about like all the history, and there's like the Sidekick and all these like crazy. I remember all those.
Remember when like you used to get video games for your phone when they first like came out? You actually get a video game for it, and it was like
Brick Breaker
and like
Brick Breaker.
Brick Breaker. What was the other one I had? I think I had a like knockoff Centipede game or something. But it was in color, so it was like really cool. Yeah, the snake one. What it was called?
Crash into yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. And then like maybe you had to pay for like rings and stuff, and you thought you were hot because you had like, come hot stepper or something. I don't know, like as your ringtone.
I think it was like, well, there's a story about like Chameleon Air on They See Me Rollin', I think is the song, which like he kept all the rights to the ringtone, which back then, like none of the execs even understood what that was. So they're like, fine, keep the ringtone and we're going to sell your CDs. And I think he made like 12 million on the ringtone. Like the first year, it was like the most popular ringtone. It was like remember the MIDI, like dang.
Oh yeah, the MIDIs are terrible, so terrible.
Yeah. But he made like a big chunk of money on the ringtone, which is a funny idea to even say now. Like if you explain that to a 12-year-old now, they'd be like,
"What's a MIDI?"
Yeah, and like what's a ringtone? Like I mean, they already have them all like loaded stock, Like,
I like somewhere in here. I have like my original iPod, like the big one, the brick one. I don't think it turns on, but don't they like fix those now? Like you take them back to Apple Store, they'll fix it for you.
I don't know. I don't know why I mean, now it's like
the big one. You turn the wheel stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're digressing a lot in nerd talk. So then you did their first app, and then what happened? Did you sell that company or did it bust?
Sold that company. Yeah, that company got acquired in 2021.
Well, that was like your main gig for the last like while, right? I mean, when did you graduate college?
What's that?
What year did you graduate college? Like 2008, 7?
04.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to go back to the hills. I'm like, when was that TV show on?
Yeah,
you did that thing for 17 years. Holy crap! Your app? Oh no, you did it for 10 years, 13 years.
Yeah, like 13. Yeah, 13 pretty much. Yeah.
So like you were the CEO of that app company, or you were a co-founder, or what did you guys do?
Yeah, co-founder and CEO. Yep. Yeah, it was fun, and I used to travel here all the time from LA. One of our
hotels and stuff.
Yeah, like a lot of one of our big customers was actually in Brussels, but yeah, so
wow, dude, that's cool.
But during COVID, when I was kind of in the process of selling that company.
Oh God, it's like now it's like.
Yeah, I remember that.
Nobody was traveling.
You know what was always weird of me about COVID was that, like, remember when all of a sudden we didn't have to wear masks? I felt like there wasn't enough. Well, I felt like there wasn't enough of like a celebration that like it was like all of a sudden you could go to the airport like. And you could see everyone's face, like, and there was no like, hey guys, now we can take the mask off. It just kind of happened, and it was like, God, after like 2 years of like crazy town, and there was no formal like fireworks show to unmask or whatever. But yeah, during COVID, that's kind of where the idea for Puttr came, because I was,
Why? Because you're just like hanging out at your house and you're like this.
Trapped in my house.
You have an app for like hotels, which no one was traveling, right? And hotels weren't really.
Things were not good in the brick and mortar space. Let's just say that.
Especially you're trying to like sell software, right? And all of a sudden they're like,
oh yeah,
we don't have guests. Like,
oh yeah. I mean, it's brutal. I mean, like Caesars was one of our biggest customers.
Holy crap, dude.
They shut down Vegas from like
remember that?
December. I mean, yeah, like.
Dude, I haven't been to Vegas since like 2020. Like, I know it sounds weird, but that was like right before COVID. That was when I was there, and it was like that's 5 years ago. Because I don't know.
Yeah, things have changed, I think, since. But it's.
Oh, you think I can go back now?
Like, I would say Vegas isn't what it used to be. Obviously, I think people have always been saying that, but I don't know. It goes through cycles, and I think when you go there for work too, you get jaded.
Yeah, it's a place.
But yeah, I had my son was 2 at the time in the peak of beginning of COVID, and I was like, well, the Tiger way, right? Like, start at the hole and work backwards. I'm going to order a putting mat off Amazon and work with him on putting. And then he'd like go to bed and I'd be like, all right, now I'm going to work on putting for my like Saturday morning game. And that combined with being on the Peloton literally every day, because like gyms were closed, beach was closed.
I remember that. I bought a Peloton, dude. Cause like, and I bought it right before, like you couldn't get anything. Like it was like, oh, a 3-month wait.
Oh yeah. Well, I luckily was like an early adopter. I've had a Peloton for a long time, but yeah, once COVID, I mean, it like saved my life, because it gave me like some workout to do and like kind of an hour to, but one of the things that was so interesting was like, I'm putting on this putting mat and, you hit 3 putts and you're bored. And I'm like, I just want like some feedback and statistics to like see if I'm hitting 7-footers or 9-footers, like, where am I making them? Like, how many am I making? Like, let me change my grip a little bit and like see if anything changes. But like, there's no feedback for that. And then, having just being in golf, you see like for club data, like TrackMan, I mean, it spits out like 100 numbers about everything. And if you go like get fitted for literally any club except a putter, the amount of data that comes back is incredible. But yeah, and I was just kind of like, as an engineer, I was like, so how can I score this basically? Like, how can I make it fun and like make some kind of game out of it? And that's really kind of where it started. And then just basically started building it out of wood in my garage. And then, got it off the ground basically.
So like, what was a prototype then? Was it really made of wood and like a putting mat? Like an iPad on top or what?
Yeah. I mean, I 3D printed the mount that holds the camera and the computer, and I laser cut Baltic birchwood, which is like that 1/8-inch thick wood that like every, like, you see those like, those models they sell the kids for like Da Vinci, and they're all that is they're taking one piece of wood, which costs like $1, laser cutting it. You pop all the wood out and you put it together because it's very precise.
Oh.
So anyhow, learned how to do that. I found a laser cutter in Redondo Beach.
Where'd you live in LA? In Redondo?
Well, that was the last place I lived. I lived in, before that, PV, and before that, Hollywood, right in the middle of Hollywood. But that was when I was young and in my 20s. And
my buddy has a studio or a club in Redondo, like minimal golf bags. They have like
Sam.
Sam. Yeah, I'm boys. Yeah, it's my good friends.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's so funny. I have a great story. So,
do you have Sam's story?
Well, a minimal story. And I have my golf bag is a minimal golf bag with
which version? Like MR2, it's the last, MV2. I don't know what was the first, MR1.
It's the last one.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
it's not the newest one, but I'm buying the newest one as a giveaway for one of our online tournaments because I love the brand. Cool. I mean, he's really innovated on the golf bag, and that was. It's funny. I still had like a Sun Mountain bag from like high school. And I was like, all right, you're making some money. It's time to like buy a real bag. And literally I'm taking my son to school. And at the time, I mean, I'm not a douche, but I had a golf cart in LA. And, I was one of those guys on the beach that driving his golf cart. And And like I drive by this place, and it used to be another place, and there's these
Like the
big
original
bay.
one, the one in the original club, or no?
No, I don't think so. It's the one with the big bay like garage
yeah,
door
that's the
glass
main one. Yeah, in Redondo.
in Redondo. That
Yeah.
one. This was like, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago. And like I just drive by and I like look in and I see like a pool table, a half pipe, and a golf sim in the back. And I'm like, I don't know what this place is, but I want to go in there. I mean, it's like, that looks super cool. And so I just dropped my son off, parked the car, walked in. I was like, what do you guys do? They're like, we sell golf bags. I'm like, no way. But yeah, super cool dude. Love his product.
Dude, I could work because you can be a member at that place and you can just like work out of there or whatever. Dude, that'd be the coolest place to work out of, right? Because like it's open.
Oh, yeah.
Ocean's like what, a block away. It's always right breezy in there. It's just like everyone's cool. I don't know. Like I love that place.
Yeah, Redondo's awesome. I mean, South Bay is great. Obviously being on the beach is great. I don't surf, so like you're paying a premium for the rent if you don't surf to be that close to the beach. But I loved it, and also being there during COVID was like an absolute godsend because I could just like take my son to the beach, and it was basically our own beach.
Playground.
We had basically a private beach every day. So that was great.
Were the beach is closed? I can't remember back then. Was it closed?
There
or summer, right?
I'll never forget it. Where like I think it was July 4th, where the restaurants were open and the beach was closed. I mean, there was a point in time where they were pulling surfers, like the Coast Guard was pulling surfers out of the water, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're social distancing if you're surfing. Like, I don't think you can surf like within 6 feet of anybody. But yeah, it was crazy town. And yes, the beaches were closed for like a short period, but then they reopened them and were like, yeah, just social distance. I mean, especially in Redondo, the beaches are massive. Like you don't need to be near anybody. They're not busy. They're not like Santa Monica, Venice.
Yeah, it's not popular. I mean, it's like houses over there. And
yeah, it's all houses. It's wide open. There's no one there. I mean, you have to walk down from the Strand. So it's like, and it's just such a deep beach, like from the Strand to the ocean is like 500 feet, it's huge. So anyhow, yeah, loved Redondo, but
so then okay, so you came out with when Puttr first came out. When was the first like viable prototype out?
Yeah, great question. So we had also kind of COVID related. We had definitely like a false start. So I launched the Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign to fund the first batch of units. With a prototype that I had made, and that was in October of 2021. And then, there was a chip shortage, which a lot of people forget, but like in 2022, I can tell you two companies that do not forget it, which is Tesla and EasyGo. And I know that because I was buying a golf cart, and EasyGo, it was like the chip that makes it go, they couldn't get. But like, they had their whole fleet of 2021 golf carts built, like tires on, like ready to go. But there was this one chip that they couldn't get. So they just literally had to sit on all that inventory for like a year. It was crazy. So our product basically got, delayed.
You're right last on the list to get the chip.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, right. We're nobody. So like, Apple and Tesla are getting all the silicone. And so that's what it came down to, was a silicone shortage. But, bottom line was we ended up shipping in January of 23. So
did you meet your goal in Indiegogo or whatever?
Yeah, we actually did great. We did, we beat our goal in the first hour and, plowed through it. And I think the other thing that was like a really good, Indiegogo was kind of for me, like the test of like, all right, do I really do this business? Are people going to buy this, expensive putting mat? Do people really care about putting? And so it was kind of like the litmus test, before I was like, all right, now let's really invest in this.
You'd be like, this is a dumb idea. Move on.
Right. Yeah. If I didn't sell any, I would have said, all right, let's, go get a job. And so, luckily we did really well. And the other thing that was, I think, a great indicator was, our first, whatever that is, 400 or 500 customers, they waited 16 months from paying to getting the product. And like, and nobody canceled. Everybody kind of hung
on a loop, right? And said, hey, like we're waiting on chip.
Absolutely.
Like, we're ready to
I mean,
go. It's like,
yeah, very transparent, totally over communicative. And, and at the end of the day, right, like you couldn't get a Tesla either. So it's not like it was an issue that was unique to us. It was a global issue. And so everybody kind of knew, and like, what a weird time that was, right? I mean, just thinking back on 2020, 2021, I mean, Jesus. So anyhow, so yeah, January 23 is when we finally shipped our first, by
like
then
2
we
years
had,
ago.
what's that?
Like 2 years ago?
Yep.
It was like when the first
so
units went out.
Yep, exactly. So it's basically been 2 years in the market. And now we've got about 4,000 units out there. And
which is cool if you think about it, because like it's like, how much does it cost? Like something.
They're $599.
Yeah, so times that 4,000, like and it's like, it's not like something, it's not like you're buying some thing on Amazon that's like $30, or
for sure.
It's like, this thing's awesome.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, well, and also when you compare it to like sim prices, it's actually very cheap.
Sure.
But when you compare it to like a piece of carpet putting mat, it's
but most sim stuff putting is like terrible. Like almost all of them, I mean, except for
dude, I mean, well,
small handful.
Yeah, I'm glad we don't have to debate that because I mean, it's crazy. We've gotten a lot of requests to integrate, because as a competitive golfer, I mean, I've always said like the difference between the PGA and the Korn Ferry is putting. Like all the guys on Korn Ferry can hit a 350 and bend a 3-iron any way they want, right? And hit it as high as they want and do everything. And I think putting is, and when you see the guys winning, it's all because, putting is usually what's kind of putting them over the edge. And it's weird because like, when you really look at like numbers and you think about it as a golfer, 42% of golf shots, right, are putts. But like as an actual club in the bag, like you normally would hit like between 30 and 40 putts, right?
Yeah.
And like max, you're gonna hit 14 drivers in a day, right? In a round. So like that's crazy when you think about 14 clubs in the bag. Your putter is by far the most used, but like it's the most abandoned and unpracticed, and like this
because boring
child.
Like nobody wants to do it. It's not even fun, right? Like there's no data. It's like you're just putting, okay, it rolled back to me or it didn't roll back to me, and I got to do it again. And like you don't have, there's no like no gratification, right? Like
no gratification, no games, and no like community. And so that's really where I like saw that big opportunity was like, all right, the reason I'm on the Peloton, number one, is stats. I can see like, am I beating myself yesterday? Am I getting better? Like I can track stuff. And then B, like my sister's on there. I get a push notification when she completes a ride. And then I want to get on the bike and like whip her ass. So there's like very much a competitive like leaderboard piece to it. And that's where I was like, this needs to exist for like home putting. Like golfers are the most competitive. Like we're adding real money gaming soon.
That's the key. I was gonna say like you guys are doing that, because then that's gonna like what Pinseeker's doing, right, or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys doing it now, and it's like, for me, I think that's back to the sim thing. It's like you play in a sim league as like a good golfer, and you hit it to 9 feet and it's a 2-putt. You hit it
or
to
auto putt. And it's like,
right, it auto putts, but
or you hit a good putt and then freaking goes right past the hole. And you're like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, putting into a screen or putting into like the void is not putting. I mean, you can get used to it and adjust to it, but it's not preparing you to make
not even close
on the course. And so, I think my biggest design goal with putter is that you don't have to attach anything to your putter. You don't have to play with special balls. You can use the balls you normally play with and the putter, your gamer, and the technology works around you. And that's like it was my biggest goal. Like I don't want to have like these heavy Bluetooth balls or anything weird. Like it needs to be, I want to putt with Pro Vs and I want to use my gamer. And so, so that was really kind of the emphasis to it. And it was surprising to me. I went to the PGA show, like, I forget when it was, like late 2018, 2019, to just like kind of see what was out there.
There's nothing like this.
And like you talk to every sim company and they're like, oh yeah, we have putting. And you're like, okay, well, show me. And they're like, see, you do this and you do this. And I'm like, well, okay. Yeah. I mean, you're hitting a putter, but like you're not putting it into a hole. So like it just didn't feel like what golf feels like. So yeah, so I think that was really the biggest gap. But then also like to be able to roll it out in your apartment and put it away was a big, component. And thank you for saying that it looks cool. That was kind of
it's almost like a piece of functional art. Like, I mean, I know it's a metal box, but yeah, but like, dude, it's like most putting greens look like complete shit. And where are you gonna put it, right? Like seriously, when you're done putting, where are you gonna put your putting green? Either you leave it on the ground or you put it in a brown box in the corner and you don't use it. So like, I have my putter right here. It's like out of the way, but you would never know there's a putting mat in there ever.
Sure.
Right? It's just like a nice thing.
We've heard a lot of descriptions. I tried to make it look like a Sonos subwoofer. I've heard some people call it looks like an alien's toolbox, and I'm like,
no, it looks like a toolbox a little bit, maybe, but not really because it's a muted color too, so it's not all like, you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't
totally. And that was the idea. My wife's an interior designer, so I was like, with the old putting mat, it's like laid across the living room floor. She's like, okay, you're gonna put it away now, and like I realized that like even just putting it away,
like every wife says that.
Totally. And it was clunky. You have to like fold it up and then you do, and then it gets like a kink in it. Which was another big one.
It's completely screwed up forever.
And and then you just throw it out. And so that was another big one, was like the mat needs to lay completely flat and never kink. And so I went through hundreds of carpet samples. Turns out most of the carpet in the world comes from Shenzhen, China. I learned that through the process. You can't really make it in the US. There's like 2 carpet manufacturers and they want, to cut like corporate office space, like millions of square feet at a time. But yeah, so those were like kind of the important things. It needs to roll well and then be with a real hole. Yeah, that was my kid. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. Hey, free actors.
I guess like rolling his eyes like, whatever, Dad.
Yeah.
My favorite part of commercial is this guy right here. Hold on. He's all excited. He's like, whatever that guy is. That's my favorite part.
That's me.
Is it you? Really?
Yeah. And then the other guy is a paid actor.
This guy, right? Not that guy. I heard
that guy.
Oh. No, hold on. Dang it. Where is it? It's where you look at the app. I don't know. I think it's. Dude, come on. I've been watching it for the last 5 minutes and now it doesn't, like, it's probably going to be the end of the freaking show.
It's just on loop.
It's coming on. Here it is. Coming on.
That's an old
that guy right there.
That's me on the right.
No, you're cheating. I like that guy. So let's ask some technical questions. Not technical, but like door questions. Here's what I like about it. This is the box, right? I like how you already have the handles built into it, and then it lays flat inside of it. You guys can kind of see it right there. What I think is cool too, like this door opens up in case you guys didn't notice, but then like it's all ingenious. Like this slides open, right? Or it slides closed. Like, so you can like put the track right there. And the track's not all clunky either. Where's the track at? If you look, like it's designed, it's not like a normal track, right? It's almost like, it reminds me of like old time film, where it's like it rolls out, but then it's like raised. So it like almost like a train track.
Yep. Yeah. The whole key is like for us is, and we're working on the second version of it, is like portability. Make sure that, because we have a lot of guys, like the players who are traveling, playing golf, they travel with this thing and they're setting it up in their hotel room, wherever their tournament is. And so it needs to be like as portable, and, the goal was to kind of be able to set it up and put it away in under a minute.
You can definitely do.
Yeah. I mean, so I think that was like, we accomplished it, but we're always trying to work on things. And now actually the next one will also be able to rotate the return. So you can have it return from the left side or the right side. Cause we abandoned the lefty on this one. We had to kind of pick a side.
Yeah, I think I said that in my video. Like if you're left-handed, you're hosed. Like you get hit backwards.
Yeah, I mean, at least the new one. Well, at least the new one lays
on the
flush.
mat, which you don't really want to do.
Yeah, I mean, at least the new one lays flush. You can stand on it, but yeah, it's definitely not ideal for lefties. But
obviously, Matt's not left-handed.
Definitely not.
I'm not either, so I can't complain about it.
I think it's 10% of golfers are left-handed.
Well, there's left. You can just have a leftorium, like Ned Flanders. So is there like stuff in the mat? Is there like sensors in that, or like how's that, or is it coming off the iPad, or how does it talk? There has to be technology in the mat, right?
So no, there's not. The mat is just carpet.
Okay. So then how does it
the
read? The
box.
iPad is reading where it's at in relation to the dots or something?
No. So inside the box, there's a camera and the camera's like at an angle and it's capturing the mat. And so
Oh,
it's
that's
basically
cool.
like a camera-based, like the way the camera-based golf simulator works, right? It's just literally tracking the ball at a high frame rate. And it also knows where the hole is. So, you know, it can tell you every time a putt gets hit, I know exactly, you know, where it went, what speed it's going,
So
where
it's a
in the hole
camera
it
tracking
entered.
the data essentially, and it's just telling you where it's doing.
That's exactly
Like
right. And then it Bluetooth to the app, it just connects over Bluetooth. So you can use any iOS, Android, or Mac, any device with Bluetooth, and it'll connect.
oh,
So
this is the best article right here.
yeah, thank you. Um,
That's
so
my
yeah, so,
props right there to myself. That's cool you put on your website.
um,
Let's see.
yeah, so basically, you know, you can put the device anywhere, and it's kind of like a BYOD. And again, the reason I did that versus, you know, like a Peloton comes with a screen on it. And we've thought about that, and we may someday release a version with a screen. But ultimately that makes it heavier, less
No, I like what you
portable.
have with an iPad.
Yeah, I mean, I like it
Everyone
too,
has an
but you know,
iPad.
but again, it's some people kind of want an all-in-one thing, you know, don't want to have an iPad. So in that case, you know, there's an opportunity there, but again, it's just it drives the cost up so much because
A
just the
lot, like
screen,
double it, right? Because now you
yeah,
got
like
to have
double it,
tech in it.
like double it, and really my target for the price was $599 because you know that used to be what like a new driver cost. Now it's like a new driver kind of costs that, but then you have to like replace the shaft, so it ends up being like 1,000. But
$1,000. Yeah.
yeah, my last driver was 1,100.
So crazy, crazy.
It's crazy. But
And who
you
buys
should
a
have seen
driver every year? That's the
you
thing
should
I'm
see the
learning too.
dispersion.
Like honestly, like nobody can afford a new driver every year.
Well, I read an
Mm.
article that I think it's the average golfer buys a new driver every 4 years, which still seems like a lot. But
I just feel like tech is so cool, like in golf, especially because it's constantly evolving. The driver's not evolving. Give me a break. You know, like, oh, it goes farther. It's AI technology. Oh, whatever the new key phrase is this year. Okay. 10x
yeah,
MOI or 10,000 MOI. Okay. Whatever. Is it maybe hit the ball farther or straight? That's all I care about.
yeah, I mean, look, I think yeah, I mean there's a lot of marketing there. You know, one thing, you know, a lot of people comment on ads, you know, what's AI about this? About our putting green. And so, you know, ultimately like computer vision is AI, is a subset of AI, right? And so, you know, the way it tracks the ball is actually using a trained machine learning model to detect the ball at a high frame rate. So that's a big piece of, you know, how we enable the technology, but also to be able to deliver it in a product for $599, right? I mean, when you look at some of the camera-based sim companies, and again, they're doing full stripe, but you know, 5 to 10,000. So it's a big gap.
I mean, the coolest putting thing I think out there that I've ever seen is that $25,000. What's that one called? Putt View? Not Putt View. What's the one where like the light comes down the ground and it like moves the floor and it like does all that crazy stuff? That's cool. That's like
Oh yeah,
super expensive. Like
the smart green by Full Swing is, I think, what you're talking
yeah,
about, and
yeah,
it's
it's
like
like
I think it's
so expensive, but it's like
100
yeah, it's
grand.
like
Yeah,
but it's the coolest thing ever. Like I feel like if
yeah,
you had a tech like this, is what I tell people, if you have a putting thing and you put lights on it, people are gonna buy it. Because I'm like, oh, it's so cool. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're like, here's the track. I mean, I know you probably can't do that, but I'm saying like people would geek out on it. Because whenever I've posted like social media videos of like that stuff, they get so many views. Because every dude's like, oh, it's so cool. I wish I could do that.
huh? Well, we'll add lights to the next version.
Just for me, like Christmas lights would be cool. Just put Christmas lights on it. So then tell me, all right, so if someone buys the putter, what do they get?
So yeah,
Like, outside of the hardware, like what is the app and how's that work?
yeah, so basically like in the app, right? The app is really where all the kind of stuff is. And so you connect your app to it, and then you basically get we have a subscription, but without the subscription, you get all the games. So we have
a ton of them.
We have all kinds of different formats of games. We have like horse, beer pong, darts, and all different types of gameplay that are for some are for single player, and some are for local multiplayer, and then online multiplayer. Our most popular games are On Fire, which is you have to putt till you miss from different spots on the green. And another thing I should mention too about the green, right, is from each distance, and you know this, but from 3 to 11 feet, you have 3 putts. So there's a left to right, a straight, and a right to left. And it's not a huge break, but really what it just does is if you ever putt on a putting mat and you're just hitting the same putt straight over and over again, you're going to make every putt. Like anybody who's decent is going to just start draining every putt because you're not actually putting, you're just going through the same motion. So once you have to switch up distances and switch up breaks, you actually have to think about making a putt just like on a real golf course. And that was also, intentional with the mat. There's no lines, there's no guides. Like we want you to play like
it's just positions, right? Like position 4, 3, if I remember correctly.
Yep. Exactly. So it's 27 different spots, and that really just kind of allows you to really like practice more like you play. And then you get all the stats, like your historical, make percentage from each distance, make percentage by break. We have like achievements, challenges.
It's so cool. It's fun. Quest. It actually makes putting fun. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the whole idea.
That's it.
That's the whole idea. I mean, when I played in college, right, like everything was about how do you make practice fun. But what's so interesting about it is it's not just so that you can keep doing it. It's also so that it simulates pressure, right? And like if you're not practicing with like a score or some kind of like measurement, a lot of people talk about like, oh, I hit it great on the range. Without
then you do really terrible when you get out on the course.
Well, yeah, because it like matters. And so you're starting to think about it. And so if you're not thinking about it when you practice, then you're not going to think about it when you play. So it's really about like gamifying. It just makes you think about it while you're practicing, and it just gets you better and ready for pressure. So you get all that. And then, we have a membership that's $20 a month, or if you buy yearly, it's like $16 a month. And that adds like, what
does that give you?
So it's basically it's exactly like we kind of modeled it after like Xbox, PlayStation. It basically unlocks all the online play, which is like online tournaments for real prizes. Last month we had Travis Matthew was a sponsor. We gave away these sick like $300 sunglasses to the winner.
Is it based on the stats, or like what's the contest, or what was it?
So it's an actual tournament. You have to enable your camera on your device so you can't cheat. You actually have to record your entire round. And it's 4 rounds of 9 putts each. So it's 36 putts total. And you get a score based on the putts you made. So if you make a 7-footer, it's worth 7 points. 5-footers worth 5, and so on. You miss it, it's worth 0. And the high score of the tournament for the month wins the prize. And we can authenticate the user. We can authenticate that they actually did it through the video.
So like the video's coming from what, the unit or from your iPad?
From the iPad. After we get off, you got to play one.
Huh?
I said, after we get off, you got to play in this month's tournament.
No, I will. Because I tested it out like last fall, and there was like, a lot of things were rolling out when I was like checking it out. Yep. And I have mine at 7 out of 10.
Yeah, we update the app like every week. So
I can tell because I'm looking, I'm like, that's new.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have this before, did you?
Yeah, that's new too. So we're doing body analysis. Which is also like an AI tool that we use that Google provides that will annotate video, so we can trace your eye line over your ball, your shoulder line over your toe, and then your posture. And then we show you that and compare that with the actual putt results. So you can actually go through and say, okay, like on the putts I made that were quality, this is kind of what it looked like, and then go back and make adjustments.
This is really cool, dude. Like honestly, this is freaking really cool. Like at first like, oh, it's cool to play with and it's good for fun and training, but like this isn't like, if you're just somebody who like doesn't know what putter to use, not putter in your company, but like putter like as you putt with, right? Like you might have like a Saudi camera, and then you might have like a lab. You might have a bunch of different putters, but you don't know which one you hit better with. Like you think you hit better with one, and then you really don't. Like for the first time ever, though, you can actually see, because where else are you going to get this data? Like
100%.
You're not, unless you have a TrackMan for putt, and you have it set for putting, and it's behind the hole, and like, you know, and you get fitted for a putter, like that kind of thing. But I mean, that's it. I mean, honestly,
yeah, totally.
Putter's good for you, or, you know, I don't know, like, how do you? Yeah, that's freaking cool. Like,
yeah, well, that's the whole thing, right? Like, without the feedback, that's kind of why I created it. Was like, you want to test different grips. Like, I want to try crosshand. I want to try arm lock.
Offset.
I want to try.
Yeah.
Right. I got
different
5
head
putters.
Types, right?
Yeah, I got 5 putters in the garage. I mean, who doesn't have 5 putters in the garage, right? Like, so
everybody does. Like, right? You know, like putters are $300. You know, it's like, I can, you know.
But that's always
cool. I didn't think about this.
But even think about like the way people buy putters, right? Like, you literally maybe take it out for a round, and it's completely anecdotal. It's like, yeah, this one feels great.
Yeah, or if like you're a content creator and trying to film it, and you're like, bring it, like you watch the hitting putts at the putting green, doesn't mean jack shit. Like, I mean,
right?
Like, well, there's a million factors. Okay, I mean, there's no discernible data to back what you're saying, right? Even exactly. And people are gonna argue like, oh, it's not that accurate. It's something, right? It's probably accurate enough. Like, it's not like, you know, but it's, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's like if people complain about, oh, you're hitting shots in a simulator. Well, what's the alternative? Like, someone standing at the rangefinder behind me? I mean, like,
well, yeah, but again, I mean, think about a driver fitting today without TrackMan, right? I mean, look, like,
yeah, exactly.
All the different shafts, all the different heads. Like, if I was just going on feel and like anecdotal, you know, it's like, I remember back in the day when like the Big Bertha came out, you know, the first
I had
Big Bertha, and it was like everyone would buy one because like you'd hit your friends. It felt amazing. It made this sound. It went, you think further, but like, we didn't really know. And it's still today like that, you know, with putting. Obviously there's exceptions. You can get putter fittings, and there's companies that are doing that, you know, at the top end, but a lot of people still just don't know what they putt best with because it's all anecdotal. And
100%.
even the top teaching pros now, which is something we're starting to work with, you know, they don't have the data. So like, when someone comes in for a putting lesson, they're like, well, where do you miss, left or right, and short or long? And yeah, that person's going to give an answer, but it's completely based on, it's not based on data. It's just based on like what they think, which, you know,
unless you're really getting fitted, right? And it's like, well, you can, like, I had never been fitted for a putter, and then I was fitted for a putter at PXG in like their putting area with the, you know, and they had the TrackMan pointing at the ground, all that crap, and like they're literally changing like every little, you know, which head do you like? Okay, I like these kinds of heads, and then it's like they're changing the everything, and I was like, you could really see a difference. Oh, you're pulling just a bit left with this type and that. That's awesome, right? But
totally, and all the different.
Let's say you can't afford that, or you don't want to, or you got somebody gave you an old Scotty Cameron or an old pink putter. It's like, oh, it's my dad's. I like to use it, but it could be like, that could be the best putter in the world for you, but you would never know because you don't know how.
Well, again, like, and that's the other thing, right? I mean, is my swing the same as it was 5 years ago? You know, there's so many things that can change. I want to try stuff, get more upright. I've been doing more yoga lately. All these things we don't really have data for, at least in putting.
It's Lent, and you're not eating sugar, and you're going crazy.
Totally. So yeah, so that, you know, that's really, and it's interesting you say that about like what's rolled out, you know.
Dude, you did a lot of stuff in the last 6 months, man, for real.
Well, yeah, you know what it is? It's like, we've really found, I think, like our core audience, our core user, which is like definitely the golfer that wants to improve their putting. You know, there's so much around like Top Golf when I launched this company, and I was like, yeah, this is for everybody. Like, anybody that just wants to have a game night at home. And I think like what we found out is like, people who aren't into golf like it. They're like, oh, this is cool. Like, this is fun. But golfers love it because they're like, oh, wow, like this dials me in to a level that I've never had before.
You also have no competition. Like, no one's doing this, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, we're definitely
at this price point. Seriously, man, this is genius.
Yeah. We're definitely first movers. So, you know, we're trying to go fast, but,
I mean, I guess, yeah. Okay. But there's no one that I know has bridged this gap, right? Between using the tech with putting, right? Without having to, I mean, that's not physical, right? Like, I know like the air brake, you can step on the thing and air or whatever. Like, but I mean, there's no tech involved. Like, this is tech. Like, this is cool.
Yeah. And I think between the stats and being able to play online against people and compete is really different. And I think that the community is really like a big part of what makes us different is like to be able to play online with friends. Like I play with my dad, who's still in New Hampshire. You can play live multiplayer, it's like video putting against each other with a scoreboard. And so like, and that's kind of like, takes me back to being on the putting green when I was a kid playing 7-Up with him,
Mel time.
And so like
it's the best time, or horse, or you put the tee in the ground and you're like, okay, now you gotta hit from here now or whatever. Yeah, dude.
I mean, we did that all night, like until it got dark. So like, this is just kind of like a new connected version of that people can do from anywhere. So that's kind of how we like to look at it.
Well, mad props. I think it's cool.
Thanks.
I think it was cool a year ago when I first saw it, and I was like, when I was doing that guide with Sports Illustrated, I was like,
well, let's see how good you are. You got to play in this week's tournament, see if you can top 5 at least.
Oh yeah, I didn't freaking get a scholarship though. I got a scholarship to like Goofy Golf place.
What's your putt? What are you putting with now? You're putting with PXG?
Dude, I have a bunch of putters because I don't know which one is the best for me. I have a PX, like I have an Allen putter I use, which is that new PXG putter. I have like the Lab Mez. I have the DF2 or 2.1 or whatever it is. I have a Scotty Cameron, but I can't hit it with the shit. But I think I'm just cool to have Scotty Cameron, whatever, Newport or something. I don't know what it is. I give away a lot of my putters.
After you get off, whenever you can, there's a game called Compare, and you literally enter the names of the putters, and then you're going to hit 10 putts with each that the game records, and it literally is like TrackMan. It gives you dispersion on speed, on accuracy, make percentage. It's going to spit all these numbers, and it's going to grade each putter and just show you which one is the best. And you're the same person putting with the same ball with different putters. The only thing that's changing is the putter. Try that and then see which one. I'd be interested to see which one it spits out.
So cool, dude. I just thought when I first saw it, I think who did I see make a video? I saw him make a video, and then I reached out to you, and then we talked. Remember that was
Was it he was on your podcast? Maybe was it Sean from Breaking 80?
Breaking 80, yeah. Sean Ogle, yeah.
Sean Ogle, yeah, great dude.
Yeah, I think he talked. I saw the article or I saw the video. I'm like, oh, I think it's really cool. So that's why I first found you, really, and I was like, good thing, because I think if you guys are looking for like seriously, here's what I think: putting's boring. Right, it's fun if you go to the course and go putt with your friends or your dad or whatever, make a game on. Okay, it's fun, but like by yourself, it sucks, right? Unless you make
no one
ever wants to do
putting.
That. Yeah, no, ever, right?
Yeah.
But like you've figured out a way of making putting fun. But like I know it's very like cliche and be like, oh, it's a game, you can play games on it. Yeah, but you've done so much since then. That's like actually this is becoming a training aid, like a tool. Yeah, you can play games and you can bet money now, but you're building an ecosystem. Then someone's like, I don't really need to get a putting trainer. Like I don't need to buy whatever tchotchke to help me putt. Like I can just practice on this and see if it works.
Yeah, definitely the end goal is to improve, and it's just about making it fun and engaging and like making you want to actually putt. I mean, that's literally the main thing. And I find that's so many people say that to me. They're like, me and my buddy played for like 3 hours last night, and we're having so much fun and betting money and all this stuff.
So much fun.
But he's like, and then in the end, we're like, dude, we just practice putting. I mean, because that's ultimately what you're doing, right? Like you're actually working on it and you're trying to hit better putts and you're trying. So it's like it doesn't feel like practice.
Here's the other thing I think would be cool too. If you could figure out a way of like plugging this in, which you probably already are, but like plugging it in to a simulator of some sort. But not like the high-end, super high-end shit. But like, what if there's a way where I'm just thinking out loud, right? Like you can plug into a third party's app like Awesome Golf or GS Pro or something that somebody has an R10 and they're in their yard hitting shots or they're hitting in their garage. And now like they can still simulate putting and still be within under $1,000. You know what I mean? Like without having that.
Yeah, I mean, I would, obviously there's a lot of simulator companies and integration isn't the easiest path, but I totally agree with you. Like that, having played on it, it's like, why are we just making everything auto from 10 feet and in? Why don't we actually?
I hate that because like
I know
it sucks. It doesn't help you. I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna 3-putt that. I'm gonna tell you right now. Like
it just takes putting out of the game completely, which is like to me that's a big part of it. And I think from a player's perspective, it's like the most important. So, but yeah, I think,
so
I think we'll get there where like on the sim, you play to 10 feet and then you kind of just putt from 8 feet or whatever the game will tell you how far you are from the hole, and you got to make the 4-footer to make the birdie, right? It's not auto. I think that's the future. It's just there's a lot of
I mean, if it wasn't automated, maybe figure out a way where people can be like, okay, I have my sim here, and then I have the putter next to me, and then it's like you're 7 feet away, and it's like you just type in like distance 7 feet, breaking left or whatever, like whatever the screen's showing you, and then you just hit the shot.
Yeah, but I'm a tech guy, so I wanted to like integrate and be dope.
I know, but you just told me it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I'm trying to do the non-pain in the ass. I'm not trying to make it all clunky.
Well, I think also
a piece of paper.
Yeah, but like my goal is like putting is enough, and like I think putting can be an esport. Like, have you ever watched darts on TV? If darts can be on TV, then so can putting. That's my opinion.
Pool, right? I mean, honestly, it's like accuracy and geometry. Yeah, geometry.
Yeah, geometry.
Yeah, I hate geometry, but weird.
Yeah, same.
Your son's hilarious, dude, in this commercial. I'm like watching his thing. Like, oh, yeah, whatever, dad. Whatever, dad. My kid made the same look. Is that your wife in the video too? Your whole family?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool, dude. Well, Matt, where can people find Puttr?
Oh, dude, we're already at an hour. That flew.
I know it always happens like that, and we talked for like 20 minutes before the show, anyways.
So so Puttr you can find at puttr.co, puttr.co, and we're also available at the PGA Tour Superstore website and rolling out at their venues. So, but you can find it on PGA Tour Superstore online and on puttr.co. Those are the only two places you can get it today.
If you guys want to see, like, if you guys want to learn more about it too, like, and there's third party, because I didn't really know Matt until like after I did all this stuff, so it wasn't like, anything weird. Like, I have a full review of this on my YouTube channel, and I did during the buyer's guide. I was just really impressed with it. I thought it was cool. Like, I think honestly, I think you need to get more love. That's what I think. I think you have a really cool product. I don't say that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you sharing the love, and
mad love.
Now I'm going to hold you to the compare.
I want to kick your ass, dude. I'm going to play right now. I'm going to kick your ass when you get off the air.
And then I want to see your tournament results. I'm going to see it. I see your name.
No, because you suck shit. You're going to text me and be like, you suck. You should go play some other sport.
Isn't that the whole idea?
That's then I'm going to give you that look like your son did, like this.
Yeah, I'll just send you a loop of that.
That's going to be like, you know what we do to my kids to piss them off? Like, I'll make stickers now on my phone of like their stupid looks, and I'll just make the sticker on my iPhone, and then I'll just send it to them when they make me mad. But I have a whole library of stupid stickers now of your face. And they get so pissed.
That's hilarious.
So freaking.
I gotta start doing that.
I did my wife too. She sent me a picture of her like 10th grade high school picture. She's like this, and I'm like, oh, there we go. I got a new sticker. But you guys, so check out puttr.co. There's no E, so it's puttr.co, just so you guys know. And thank you for being on the show today. And yeah, check them out. They're legit. He's cool. The cool brand, cool product. And it's only like $600. Like, dude, like that's like a golf club now. So just buy it. So I'll see you guys in the next show. Thank you.
Thanks, dude.